R&B money. We up. Thanks. jvalentine. We are the authorities on all things R&B.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tank.
I am jvalentine.
This is the R&B Money Podcast.
Tell him.
The authority on all things
Yeah, please.
R&B.
Yes. That's what we represent.
The foundation
Woo.
is in the building.
Preach. Tell him what it is.
The reason
Yeah.
why we are here,
Hell, why we do what we do.
why we do what we do,
Yeah.
is in the building.
Why we sing so beautifully, don't you agree?
The sultry, silky man
Yeah.
himself.
The one and only.
The one and only,
Yes.
huh? Way before you wanted smoke.
Yeah, what? Yeah, all of that.
Huh?
All of that.
He been setting on fire. We got the smoke from him.
Yeah.
Let's get right into it.
Yeah.
The King, Smokey Robinson.
Yeah!
Smoke out.
Tank, I'm taking you everywhere I go for that introduction, man.
Man, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Let me ask you a question. Do you know, like, do you ever get to, like they said, the guy on the Matrix, he said, have you ever stepped back and marveled at it, this beauty? Have you ever gotten a chance to just understand what you've done?
Well, man, you know what? First of all, I am just really, really, really blessed, man.
Mm.
You know, and especially now. If you could have seen it then, you would have had some inkling of what I'm talking about, especially if you see it now. Where I grew up, any kid there, because we had a lot of groups and a lot of people singing and all that, would not have thought that something like this could happen for them, man. I grew up in the hood.
Yeah.
I grew up, where,
Yeah.
with some gangster brothers and
Mm-hmm.
So I am overwhelmed with what God has allowed to happen in my life, man.
Talk about it.
Because, like I said, this was my impossible dream as a kid. This is what I wanted for my life, but it was impossible to me. How could this possibly ever happen? Not from where I am, So I'm living my impossible dream. And it's a blessing, man. And I don't take it for granted.
Yeah.
And I don't trip on Smokey Robinson and all that. That's just, that comes along with this territory.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And when I see people come into show business and they have a hit record or get a little note and stuff like that, and they start tripping on themselves and think that, well, the world is aware of them now, so you can't possibly do without them. That's so stupid, man.
Yeah.
I've seen thousands, and I'm not exaggerating that now. I've seen thousands of people come through show business, man.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So I'm blessed, man, and I'm very, very, very happy to be able to live this life that I love so much.
Well, let me say this. Today is Smokey Robinson Day.
All
Today
right, baby.
is
Yeah. We know he probably got many of them around the world.
Of course. But today on this pod, it's the King's Day, right? You say, listen, you say you don't trip on the Smokey Robinson thing. Today, we get to trip.
We big tripping.
We
All
big
right.
tripping
Yeah, we
All
big
right.
tripping.
on Smokey Robinson.
All right.
And you get to trip too.
All right, then.
Whenever you
Yeah,
feel
yeah,
like it, you get to stand on business.
All right, baby.
I want to get two things that are, for me and my brother Jay, urgent off top.
Okay.
While we got these eyes on us off
All right.
top. This is the 50th anniversary of Cruisin. Talk about that, man.
Well, you know what, man? I'm having two 50th anniversaries at the same time, really, because it's the 50th anniversary of A Quiet Storm also.
Quiet Storm.
Quiet Storm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Quiet Storm was my debut back into show business, man.
Gotcha.
because we, of course, everyone knows that Barry started Motown. We started out in Detroit. That's where we're all from. I was born in Detroit. Blah 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 blah. So we're all from Detroit, and then he decided along the way that he wanted Motown to become an entertainment complex. So he wanted to make movies and do TV specials and stuff like that. And Los Angeles was the capital of that at that time, you know, for doing stuff like that. And he came out and made Lady Sings the Blues and, you know, Mahogany, you know. And so that was his thought for Motown. And I came out here kicking and screaming, man. I came out to Los Angeles because I didn't want to move from Detroit. I thought we should stay there. You know, they even called Detroit Motown, and that, you know. So I thought, hey man, we should stay here. So I was telling, but anyway, he convinced me I had to move. And at the same time, I was retiring from the Miracles.
Gotcha.
And
How old were you at this time?
when I retired from the Miracles, I was 31.
Okay.
Yeah, I was 31. And so, but man, I did because the Miracles and I had been Ron White and Pete Moore and I had been singing together since we were 11 years old, man.
Oh wow.
You know, you know, back in the days. And then we met Bobby, who was our other original Miracle member, and a guy named Sonny. And Sonny, when we graduated from high school, decided he wanted to go to the Army because we weren't doing anything as a group. It was 1,000 groups in Detroit. You know, we just singing around, little parties and stuff like that. So he had his mother decide for him to go to the Army, and his sister took his place in our group. So, man, we went to audition for Jackie Wilson's manager. Jackie Wilson was my number one singing idol as a kid growing up. I would have walked 20 miles to see Jackie, man, because Jackie was the man, okay? But anyway, we got a chance. Jackie was from Detroit, too, and we got a chance to go to audition for his managers. And we did, and we went to, and I tell everybody it was a God day because we went to audition for his managers. And like I said, we had a girl in the group, and I sang high. And rather than singing songs that were currently popular by other artists, we said, okay, we're going to sing 5 songs that I've written because I've been trying to write songs since elementary school. So I had a loose leaf notebook full of songs. So we're going to sing 5 songs that I've written so they could say, okay, these kids got their own material, so we're going to definitely sign them.
Yeah.
Wrong. They didn't like us at all, man. They did not like it because we were akin to the Platters as far as they were concerned. Because Platters had Zola Taylor and Tony, the guy, sang high and all that. And we had the same phone. They said, we don't need another Platters. Y'all got this girl in the group, and so you'll never make it because the Platters already out there.
They just said flat out, you'll
never
make it.
Yeah, you'll never make
Okay,
it.
all right.
And here's what he said. He said, you never make it unless you change your format. So okay, good. So anyway, so they rejected us. However, during the course of that audition, there was a young man sitting over in the corner. And like I said, I'm 16, so he don't look any older than 19 or 20 at this point, you know. And I think he's sitting there because he's going to audition after we finish.
Yeah.
You know. And so we sang the 5 songs, and they rejected us. And we going out, and we going on down the hall. And the young man who had been sitting there watching came out behind us. He said, hey, man, wait a minute. So I turned around. He said, where'd you get them songs from, man? I said, I wrote them. I'm wondering why he's asking me that, you know, because, you know, what you care where I got them from. Anyway, so, you know, I'm being nice.
At this point, you kind of got an attitude, too.
Yeah, but I'm being polite, man, because I'm you know, I'm disappointed, you know. So he said, yeah, man. He said, I liked a couple of your songs, man. So I said to myself, well, he wants to use a couple of my songs so he can audition with them. I see.
Oh, you still think he's an artist?
I still think,
you think he's out.
So I said, yeah, man. I said, well, thank you very much, man. He said, now when I buy records, even today, man, I look to see who wrote the music. I want to see who composed this music. If it's a band, if it's singers, I want to know who actually wrote this music these people are doing here. So I do that. I always have done that. So now I got all of Jackie Wilson's records, okay? So this dude says to me, he said, yeah, man. He said, I'm Berry Gordy. What? How could you possibly be Berry Gordy, man? I say, you mean Berry Gordy who wrote all those hits for Jackie? He said, yeah. I said,
So he was a guy already.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he was 10 years older than me. He just looked young,
Yeah.
Barry, I just went to see him the other day. Barry was 95 on his birthday, man. He looked like he's 60. So
Yeah, exactly.
So he said, yeah. And I said, you, Barry Gordy? So that's why I say it was a God day, man, because Barry didn't have to be there that day.
Right.
We didn't have to go audition. He was there to turn in some new songs for Jackie Wilson. He actually had Lonely Teardrops with him that day. He was gonna let Jackie.
He had lonely teardrops.
He was
with
gonna
it.
let Jackie hear it that day.
Just in his stash.
pocket.
Yeah, in his pocket.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, he said he was him, and I could not believe this, man. And he liked a couple of my songs and stuff. So to make a long story short, he said, "You got any more songs?" I had a loose leaf notebook, man, like I said, full of songs. So he listened to about 20 of them that day, and he just critiqued them. Cause I could always rhyme stuff. Sometime I was 5 and 6 years old, I was writing little poems and stuff like that, But my songs at that point, man, only 2 of my songs made sense all the way through. Cause my first verse, man, it'd be all rhymed up, but it didn't have nothing to do with the second verse. Back in the day.
Yeah.
And then the second verse would be all right. It had nothing to do with the bridge. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, so Barry said to me, finally, he said, "Hey man," he said, "let me tell you something." He said, "A song has got to be like a short book, a short movie, short story where the beginning and the middle and the ending tie in together and tell a story to people." He said, "I want you to listen to the radio and see what's going on, blah, blah, blah." And, he said, and I'm going to work with y'all. And he going to work with us. And so we were very happy about that. And, so he started to work with me. And about a year and a half later, he put us with a record label because there was no Motown at the time. And he put us with a record label out of New York called N Records. And they had Little Anthony and the Imperials and the Chantels and people like that on their label. We were very excited. So I'd written this song called "Got a Job" in answer to the Silhouettes song "Get a Job," which was #1 in the world at that time. So he recorded it on us and got a job. There was 3 charts at the time. There was the R&B chart, what they call the pop charts, where all the white artists were, and then the classical chart, So on the R&B chart, Got a Job went to the top 5. So we know that, okay, that's a hit, So we had 4 sides with them, 2 45s, it was 4 sides. And so come time to pay the royalties, man. This dude sent Barry a check for the producer's royalties, the publishing, the writing, the artist royalties for $3.19, for 4 sides, for $3.19, So
I'm trying to put together inflation.
yeah. We were highly upset, baby. Yeah, $3.19.
$3.19 just ain't adding up.
Barry framed it. He's got it. He framed it. And I think that was the straw that broke the camel's back as far as him starting Motown. I'm glad George Garner did that, man, because he said, "I'm tired of this because ain't nobody paying." So he borrowed $800 from his family, started Motown. Thank God.
So after all the hits he had with Jackie Wilson, he still had to borrow $800.
Oh yeah. Hey man, when you black back in them days, they weren't paying you, man. If anything, they might buy you a Cadillac or something like that. And Cadillacs back in those days didn't cost $3,000. You know what I'm saying? So
But that was the way to just get people out of
just
his face.
get
you out
Get you out,
just get you out
so you
of
stop
my
asking
face.
something. I got you a Cadillac.
Okay, nigga, this is it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, but so no, they weren't paying, man. And he just, and like I said, thank God, cause it provoked him into starting Motown.
Start
man.
Motown.
Yeah, so started Motown, and like I said, we moved out to Los Angeles. I'm a vice president, so he's telling me when I was in Detroit, he told me, he said, my office was designed to induct new talent. I brought a lot of new talent into Motown and stuff back in the day. And I loved that. And then so he finally convinced me to move out to Los Angeles after I retired from the Miracles. And he said, "Man, you're my best friend, so I'm going to change your office. You're going to be the financial office. You're going to sign all the checks. All the checks going to come to you except for the payment of the records, and that's what you're going to do." So I'm cool, man. And I've been, on the road all over the world singing with the Miracles. And I'm going to just do my job as a vice president, be there every day. Ooh, this is great, And then Claudette, who was my wife then, we just had our two oldest kids were born at that time. My son was 4, my daughter was 2, so I get a chance to stay at home with my family and do all that, and be there.
Yeah.
But, so I moved out here and I get, So, man, at first it was the bomb. I loved it because I'm going to the office every day. I'm going home every day after the office. I'm signing checks. And when I first started signing, my name is William Robinson Jr., man. So I started signing checks like that, William Robinson Jr. And after he signed 1,000, you ought to see my signature now. It's like that, you know. All after you sign 1,000 checks, man, you know what I'm saying? You're going to figure out something. So anyway, so I'm doing that, man. And after about 2.5 years, I found myself miserable. I was fucked up on the inside. I was just miserable, man. Every day, I was miserable. I was sad, and I'm not a sad person. I ain't never been a sad person. And I was sad. But I didn't want Barry to know that, because I didn't want him to think that, okay, I've come out here and now I'm going to let him down because I can't do my job as vice president.
Yeah.
But I didn't want Claudette to know, because she's going to say, oh, he didn't really want to be at home with me and the kids and all that stuff like that. So, I didn't want nobody to know, So I'm just trying to, on the outside, but I am miserable, man. I got to the point where between my house and the office was the Roxy and the Whiskey A Go-Go. And many nights I would stop by there just so I could see somebody on stage. That's how
Yeah.
I am
So
on the inside.
you're not performing
I'm not
anything
performing
for 2.5 years. You're completely
babe.
retired.
I'm completely retired.
Because he retires and then he goes and does shows.
No. I told myself, I said, I will never do this again, ever. I might write some songs and produce some other people or some records, but for me, I'm done.
Yeah.
That was my thought, man. I am done with this, man. I've been doing this all my life. I'm through. My kids are here, blah, 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 I'm through. So like I said, I was miserable, man. One day after about 3 years or so, Barry came to my office. He said, hey, man, I need you to do something for me. I said, okay, man, what you want me to do? I thought he was going to tell me some corporate stuff, because I doing my stint as vice president like that, I would travel. I would go to New York, make deals with publishing companies, So I thought he was going to tell me something like that, So he said, I need you to do something for me, man. So I said, okay, what you want me to do, man? He said, sit down, let's talk. I need you to. So I sat down. He said, I need you to do something. I said, what you need me to do, man? He said, I need you to get yourself a band and go in the studio, make a record, and get the fuck out of here. I said, what did you say to me, man? He said, you heard me, man. I need you to get yourself a band. I need you to go in the studio, make a record, and I need you to get the fuck out of here. I said, well, what's wrong, man? I said, I'm not doing my job. He said, no, you're doing a great job, man, but you're miserable. He said, you think you hiding that shit from me? He said, I'm a nigga from Detroit, too. I'm a street nigga from Detroit. So I peeped you. You're my best friend. So you can't hide from me. He said, I see you miserable. It makes me miserable. I don't want to be miserable. So I need you to get the fuck out of my face.
Oh, these sound like me and Tank's conversation.
You know what I'm saying, man? So that's... I just grabbed him and hugged him. I hugged him for about 10
band.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I hugged him for about 10 minutes, man. And then I went home and I told Claudette, and I was so happy, man. And then I said, okay, I always considered myself to be a quiet singer, I said, but I'm going to go back and I'm going to take show business by storm. And I walked around, I thought about that. I said, wait a minute. Quiet storm. Wait just 1 second, So I went to the piano and I started writing Quiet Storm, man. And my youngest sister, who I had 2 sisters, and my youngest sister was 14 when I was born. But she was a hell of a lyricist, man. So I started Quiet Storm, and I knew, okay, I'm gonna be working on the rest of this album. I'm gonna do an album now, man. I'm getting out of here.
You ready? You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready to go. So anyway, I took it to her, and she finished up the lyric for Quiet Storm, and the album became Quiet Storm. And it was my debut back in the show business, man. It was what had me come back to doing what I absolutely love. And so it was my debut back in the show business. And then eventually, man, this young brother, Melvin Lindsay, he was a DJ down in Washington, D.C., and he had a late night show. And he started to play A Quiet Storm at the beginning of his show every night. and then he changed his show to be the Quiet Storm
To
show.
be the Quiet Storm.
And
Yeah.
then radio stations all over the country started to
Have a Quiet Storm.
have a Quiet Storm.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the building right now,
The Quiet Storm.
the Quiet Storm himself. The reason you have a Quiet Storm. Listen, you got to understand, and I'm just speaking to impact.
Mm-hmm.
Us as artists, R&B artists, our songs, the first place we would get spins. The first place they would say, you know what,
Quiet
we're going
Storm.
to try you out
Yep. Yep.
on the Quiet Storm.
All right, baby.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's where I started.
All right.
I started on the Quiet Storm.
All right, man.
Those are those late night spins.
You better believe it.
Or overnight.
Or overnight spins.
Or overnight spins. Yeah. Yeah.
And it went from having successful overnight spins to having successful midday spins, then the morning show.
Yeah.
But it starts there.
With the Quiet
Yeah,
Storm.
Listen, I've set in for many a DJ on their Quiet Storm.
All right,
Yeah.
man.
You know what I'm saying?
I have too. I've done a few.
Oh, I've done plenty. Out in New York, my guy Green, out in New York.
You talking about Lenny?
Come on now, that's my this
You talking about Lenny?
that's my you don't know Lenny like I know.
Lenny's my brother, man. I just talked to Lenny night before last.
That's my guy.
Lenny is my brother, man.
Yeah,
Yes,
so like
indeed.
his quiet stuff set in with him, man. We've set in and had
Yes,
beverage.
indeed.
No, I don't know you're supposed to drink on the radio. We've set in and had the ladies and the whole
Yes, yes.
real Quiet Storm business.
Yes.
You invented that.
Well,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to say that a lot
Well,
today.
thank you.
Man,
Thank you.
Man, you
Thank
kidding me?
'Cause I have a question too.
yeah.
Over time, coining a lot of these things,
Yeah.
did you ever think like, I need to start trademarking any of this? Or you was just like, I'm just writing and I'm just
You're just
Well,
clever,
I-
B.
just
Well,
being
if-
clever.
At first, yeah. At first, I'm just writing. I think that when something like that happens, man, it happens basically on its own.
Yeah.
Because I hadn't planned that, man.
Mhm.
I was just excited to come back and be able to go and do concerts again. I'm gonna be the Quiet Storm,
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
And then it just happened like that, man. I hadn't planned it. I hadn't even thought of that, man. I hadn't thought of that. When I write a song, I want to write a song. And I mean by that I want to write a song. I want to write, if I had written it 50 years before I wrote it, it would have meant something to people. And currently it's going to mean something when they hear it. And 50 years from now, it's going to mean something.
Yeah.
Here. So I want to write a song. That's the thing that Barry, when he started to mentor me on my songwriting, he instilled that in me. I want to write a song, man. Because if I write a song, I might go in the studio and record it on myself or somebody else and not give it the right treatment. I'll give you a couple stories on that too that'll show you what I'm talking about. And not give it the right treatment. And later on, if it's a song, somebody could pick it up 20 years from now and say, oh, I like this song, and record it and it'll be a hit. If it's a song, it's got that chance. So I want to write a song. I want to be Beethoven, man. It's 600 years. We're still playing Beethoven's music.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're still playing Chopin.
Yeah.
We're still playing Bach. We talking about where I grew up, man. I had a great dose of music, man. My mother passed when I was 10, but my mother, she would cuss you out in a minute, but she was like, she went to church 3 times a week, that kind of shit. But she was a regular woman. She wasn't like this kind of person, And she would play. I know once I was playing Rutgers University with the Miracles, man, and B.B. King, they had re-released Lucille, and these white boys came up to me after the show and they said, "Hey, Smokey, have you heard this new guy B.B. King?" I said, "B.B. King, man." I said, "My mother played B.B. King when I was a little boy." You know what I'm saying? So my mother played John Lee Hooker and B.B. King and Muddy Waters and people like that. And little somebody, there was a whole lot of them littles back in the day.
Same way it is
Same way
now.
as today.
Yeah,
So they just brought it back. Did they have some young?
absolutely, baby. And then some days, for 2 and 3 days in a row, she wouldn't play nothing but Beethoven and Bach and Chopin and people like that. And then she would play the Five Blind Boys and the Volunteers and the Ward Singers and, Mahalia Jackson. And so I'm getting all this. And then I got 2 sisters, Like I said, my youngest sister was 14 when I was born. So now they're playing Count Basie and Duke Ellington and Sammy Davis and Frank Sinatra. And so I'm getting a great dose
Oh my God.
of music growing up, you know. So I'm into all kinds of music and what, you know, listening to it and loving it. But anyway, like I said, you know, I never dared to dream that some of these songs would do what they have done and what they have done for me, you know. But what I was going to say, as far as Barry goes with the not being satisfied with stuff, the greatest example I can give you probably is Shop Around.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Shop Around. We had this artist Barrett Strong who had Money, That's What I Want. The best things in life are free, you know.
Yeah.
So he's got a really big hit there. And Barry came and said, hey man, I want you to do an album on Barrett. Cool. Let me do an album on Barrett, man. So I'm thinking about Barrett, you know, what you got? Money, that's what I want. What you do with money? You shop. So the first song I'm going to write is going to be about that. So I'm going to write Shop Around. So I wrote Shop Around, and Shop Around was one of those songs, man. Songs take different times, at least for me. And Shop Around took me about 25, 30 minutes, and it was done. It just flowed out, just blump, blump, blip, blip, blip. I was so excited about it, man. And I went to Barry's office and say, hey, man, I said, I got a smash hit for Barrett, man. He said, you have? He said, let me hear it. So we go down to the studio, we go to the piano. And Barry's an accomplished pianist, you know. So we go down to the piano, and I start singing Shop Around, you know. And after a while, he starts playing, and he said, hey, man, he said, wait a minute, no. I want you to sing this song. No, Barry, man, I wrote this song for Barrett, man.
Yeah.
Money, that's what I want. Shop Around. Come on, man. You know, no, man. I like the way you sound on this. I want you to sing this song. Oh, come on, Barry. No, I'm on the Jerry. So we went through 25 minutes of that. So he finally said, hey, man, just go in the studio and record it on You and the Miracles, man. I like the way you sound on this. So I said, okay. So I went in the studio and I recorded it on us. And Bear Strong was a bluesy singer as far as I was concerned. So that's how I wrote Shop Around and how I recorded it. Just because you become a young man. Then piano, blah, 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 and then, you know, all that, you know. And it was kind of like slow and rocking and shit. So we put the record out. Record's been out for at least 2 weeks on the radio, okay? And 3 o'clock in the morning, one morning, my phone rings. And I pick it up. I say, hello. Hey, man, it's me. It's Barry. I said, yeah, man. I said, I kind of recognize your voice. I said, what do you want? He said, what's happening, man? I said, what you mean, what's happening, man? It's 3 o'clock in the morning. What's happening? I'm asleep, man. That's what's happening. He said, well, Shop Around won't let me sleep. I said, what? He said, Shop Around won't let me sleep. You did the wrong thing to it. You gave it the wrong treatment. You did not give it the right treatment. It's a really good song, and you fucked it up. So I got to do it again.
It's on the radio, though.
Yeah. That's exactly what I said.
Okay. I
said, Barry, the record's been out for 2 weeks on the radio. He said, I don't care, man. It's not as good as it can be. And it can be really good. He said, I'm going to change it. I'm going to change everything about it. I'm going to change the sound. I'm going to change the beat. I'm going to change the rhythm. I'm going to change everything about it. And it's going to number one. So I said, oh, man, okay. I said, but, you know, he said, no. He said, I'm changing everything. I said, okay, man, I'll see you tomorrow. He said, no. I mean, right now. I said, right now? It's 3 o'clock in the morning, man. He said, I don't care. He said, I called all the musicians. He said, I called them, and so you get the group, and y'all come to the studio right now. We're going to do it again. Thank God. Thank God we went and did it again. Because he changed everything. If you could hear the one I did and hear the one that's the popular one, it's a whole nother record. But that's what he did. He said, and so see, he changed it, and the rest is history. It was the first million seller at Motown.
The first.
Everything. Yeah, the first million seller at Motown. You know, but that's who that dude is, man. He's one of those guys. That's why I tell people all the time, that's the success of Motown, man. Because people ask me all the time. You see, I grew up in a great neighborhood, man. I grew up, Diana Ross lived four doors down the street from me. Aretha Franklin lived right around the corner. You know, the Four Tops lived right across the avenue by Pete, who was our bass singer. You know, the Temptations lived right across this avenue, right over there, and we had battles at high school. And, you know, I grew up in a great neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? With all these, and people say all the time, why did Detroit have all those talented people, man? They had, they had all those people in Detroit. And I tell them, and I really believe this, in every village, every city, every township, every area where there are people gathered, okay, probably ratio-wise, there's that same amount of talent. What do we have? We had Barry Gordy.
Barry Gordy.
You know what I mean?
Somebody got to bring it all together.
Yeah.
Hey, somebody had to bring, for a dude with a high school education to pull off something like Motown and have it be what it has become, that's a special dude, man.
Oh, absolutely.
That's a special dude, man. You know what I mean? So that's what we had. We had somebody who was there pushing us, and Motown was a place of competition. It was such a wonderful, wonderful place, man. 'Cause it was not just our workplace. It was our hanging place.
Mm-hmm.
We have always had what we celebrated as the Motown family.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's who we were, man, and that's who we are. Those of us who are still alive, we still celebrate the Motown family. But we were a family because we weren't just stablemates. We see the Temptations walking through the hallway and say, hey, man, how you doing? Blah, blah. No, we hung out with each other.
That was your
All-
brothers.
Yeah.
It was our brothers. It was
Yeah.
my brothers and sisters. We went to each other's homes. We had dinner at each other's houses. We had picnics. We had outings. We did everything together. When you went back to Detroit, you could have been on 51-nighter tour. And when you got back to Detroit, first thing you did was get yourself together and get your clothes out and go to Hitsville. Why? Because everybody was over there. And you knew whoever was in town was going to be over there and you were going to hang. Because that's what we did.
Yeah.
We hung and we had the family kind of thing, and all those people, we were brothers and sisters. And I go back now and I look at the pictures in the museum and stuff like that, and 85% of them are gone, man. 85% of them are gone. And when you're a kid like that and you're growing up with all those people there, and last thing you expect to see is them dead. You don't expect to see nobody dead, And especially when it's your close partner like Marvin, for me, a dude that I was with every day, all day long, damn near of my life, never expect to see him dead. Damn, it's. But we have the Motown family, man, and it's a beautiful thing. It was beautiful. Barry hung a sign up in the office. He had this thing that says, "Competition breeds success," because we were so competitive against each other, man. We were knocked down, drag out, competitive against each other. The producers and the writers and people like that, trying to get records out on the artists and stuff like that. And see, the thing about Motown, which is another thing that made it so unique, is that if you were a producer or a writer and you had a song that you thought fit so-and-so, you could take it to so-and-so, and if they liked it, you were free to record it on them.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't matter who had the last hit record on them and all that stuff. It didn't matter about all that. You got a song that they like, you can record it on them. So that's why the competition was so fierce. And every Monday morning, we had meetings in Barry's office. And only the creative people were allowed in those meetings. Only the writers and producers. No secretaries, no people from the sales department, no none of that other stuff. Just the writers and producers. Meetings started at 9 a.m. on Monday morning. If you got there at 9:01, you were locked out. You couldn't get in, you know what I'm saying? But we go in there and we critique each other's music. Even though we were competing against each other, like I said, the greatest competition I ever had for getting records out on the Temptations was Norman Whitfield and Barrett Strong. Norman could be in the studio working on something on Barrett, and like I said, we hung out there all the time, everybody, and say, hey, Smoke, come in here, man. I want you to sing, ooh, I want you to stomp your feet or clap your hands or something like that, and I would go do it. Even though I knew he was competing against me for a record out on the Temptations. He would do the same thing for me. Because that's how it was. That's how we did. And in the Monday morning meetings, we just came in and critiqued each other's music, man. Trying to get it better. I'll give you a great example of that. Tracks My Tears. Tracks My Tears was one of many, many, many songs that the origin of that song is my guitar. So it was passed on to a guy named Marv Tarplin with his guitar. He would put those guitar riffs on a tape for me and give them to me until I could come up with a song for his music, And so he had done that for the tracks of my tears. And I just had him playing the guitar on tape. And finally, one day I came up with the 3 lines for the chorus. Said, good, look at my face, smile, look out, Trey. Closest easy to trace that you gone and I'm here. No. It's easy to trace that I still love you, but you don't love me. No. It's easy to trace it. I went through a lot of those, man. So one morning, this is so ironic. One morning I was in the mirror and I'm shaving. And I don't have to shave like once every 4 or 5 days because hair won't grow on my face. I hated that in the 60s and 70s when the guys in Motown were growing beards and I couldn't grow one. I hated that, man.
He be mad.
You see that picture
I
on
would be
yeah.
He can't grow no face.
This little bit of beard I got.
That's all he got.
Look at warm thoughts, man. You see a little patch of
I'm out here warm. I'm warm thoughts,
a little
man.
patch, a little patch of hair here and there, you know. So anyway, so I'm in the mirror and I'm shaving. And the thought just came to me, man. What if a person that cried so much until their tears left tracks in their face? And then I said, oh, shit, that's it. Man. So that was how I was able to finish up the tracks of my tears. Okay? Now, tracks of my tears.
You got to be from the snow. You got to be from like Detroit.
That took maybe a month or so to Cruisin', which was another song that Marvin had put his guitar riffs on tape. And Cruisin', I loved his guitar so much until back in those days you could loop a tape, and I'd let it put me to sleep at night. It was so sensual and so sexy. And so I wrote a couple of songs for that, and they didn't work because they weren't sensual and sexy and shit like that. It took me 5 years to come up with something for Cruisin'.
5 years to write Cruisin'?
5 years it took me something to come up with something for Cruisin'. And once again, it was quite by accident. I come up with the first 3 lines of the chorus. You're going to fly away. I'm glad you're going my way because I love it when we're traveling together. No, I love it when we're doing this. I love them. And shit, man, I had that tape for 5 years. And one day, it was at Christmas time, December, here in Los Angeles. And I'm from Michigan, where in December, the winters are brutal.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, brutal.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying, baby?
Yeah.
So I'm driving down Sunset Boulevard in December with my top down. And they got Christmas decorations all across the street. And people are walking around in shorts and tank tops and shit. It's 80 degrees. It's around Christmas December. And I thought to myself, I said, damn, this is ridiculous, man. This is December and I'm cruising down Sunset. Okay. I like the sound of that word.
Yeah.
So I went back home.
Cruisin'.
And put it on the end of that thing, and that allowed me to finish that song. But
Life.
yeah.
Life.
Absolutely.
Life.
Hold on, let's stop at Cruisin'. Let's stop right now.
Yeah, I already knew you weren't going to get off Cruisin'. I'll do that.
Let's stop. There are 2 things that I need to know about Cruisin'.
All right.
First, I need to know about the session of Cruisin'.
Okay.
What is the session? What is it? Give me if I walk in the studio, what do I see?
There was a guy named Gene Page. I don't know if you ever met Gene.
Mm-hmm.
Gene Page was an arranger. He was one of the greatest rhythm and blues pop arranger, one of the greatest record industry arrangers that I've ever heard in my life. You take Gene Page, your raw tape, and when he got through with it, it was over. You know what I'm saying? So I took Gene Page after I had recorded the rhythm track and put the vocal down on Cruisin'. I took it to Gene, and I said, "Here, baby."
Make
and
it
that's
special.
what I got back.
So he hired the strings.
Yeah, he hired the string. But he did the arrangements.
The arrangements first.
So he's Quincy Jones writing out the chart, doing
yes, indeed.
The bass player. This is what you do, and and these are all live instruments.
Yes.
That's music, man.
That's why, man. I record live all the time, man.
Still.
I like to sing while they're playing.
Still.
You like to sing while they're playing.
Yeah, ask him. That's what we did this time. I like to sing while they're playing. I like to sing. I I prefer that because you see that's like
Different.
when we're doing concerts. I don't know if I've ever sang the same song exactly the same way ever. Cause the cats are playing.
It's different.
And you
Feel
might hear some shit the guitar player, but it
Yeah.
inspires you to
Feel.
do something
Yeah,
else.
absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
and he's gonna hear something that the bass player played, and he's gonna inspire him to do something else. You know what I'm saying? So it's inspirational.
Yeah.
So I love recording when they record.
Okay, so cruising.
But
You're
cruising, like I
Got
said,
it.
man.
So give me this moment.
Okay.
The first time you hear D'Angelo's cruising,
Okay.
what are your thoughts when you hear that?
Well, see, first of all, D'Angelo's my little brother. I love him. I know his mama and all them. So he's a cool dude. And what did I think when I heard it? I thought, yippee. Ooh, great. That's the same thing I think when I hear anybody doing any of my songs. You know what I mean? As a songwriter, I hope that happens all the time.
Yeah.
I know when the kids first started to sample music and doing all that, people come to me, hey man, they sampled your music, get you upset. No, sample all of mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sample every song I ever wrote in my life, please.
Wow.
Please.
Because when you sample it, that says to me that out of the billion songs that are on earth, that you had a choice
That your song
of,
meant
and plus you a songwriter yourself,
Yeah.
you chose one of mine
Yes. Yeah.
to incorporate in your music or to be to just sing, period. Thank you. So D'Angelo, like I said, he's a talented young man, and he sang it, and I was flabbergasted. And in fact, they surprised him. He did, I forgot what the TV show was now, but anyway, he was going to do this TV show, and he was singing Cruisin', and they called me and told me what was happening. And so the TV show starts, and he gets there, and he sings the first verse, and then they had me walk out to sing the second verse, and we had a ball.
Oh, yeah.
We had a ball.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
But I loved when he did that, man.
Yeah.
He's got such a funky version of it, man.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
D'Angelo's funky anyway. So
Yeah.
No, I love what you said about that, because I think sometimes there's this line in the sand where you have which they have all the right to feel that way, but you have certain artists who are just like, I don't want anybody touching my music. Make your own music, and y'all need to be more
Fools.
creative.
Fools.
Okay, you said it, I didn't.
Yeah, I said it.
You said it, I
Fools.
didn't.
Yeah. Stupid. Yeah.
There goes the answer to that. That
Absolutely.
is what it is.
Absolutely. Because, see, first of all, like I said, it's flattery, and then you're going to earn some money.
Yeah.
So why would you protest that?
We ain't never mad at that.
Yeah, why would you protest that?
Speaking of money. Speaking of
about-
money.
The best things in life are free, but you can give them to... No, go ahead.
I need money.
There-
Going to that part, because you spoke earlier about the finances with these other labels before you guys started Motown. Did you have any understanding at this point, like when you first really kicked it off, got your first hit records, wrote, got a job, then you get your smash record with Shop Around. Did you really understand the publishing side and, the royalties and different things that a lot of artists didn't know for a long time?
No,
Because
I
you were
didn't.
part of the business.
No, I didn't understand that until Barry explained it to me.
Mhm.
See, no, see, when you're a kid like that, man, because we were kids, anytime you're 16, and then, I think about this too. When I turned 19, I married Claudette, who was a girl in the group, in 19, and Barry had just started Motown, and I was making $5 a week because there was only 5 people who worked there then. Him and 4 others of us, so it was considered our car fare to get there and shit. But we made $5 a week. And but I was 19 and I got married because I thought I was a man.
Because I was going to ask you why you got married. And I said, but you know.
I thought I was a man.
Yeah.
Okay, and here's my girlfriend. She's traveling with us anyway. And many times her mother had to go on the road with us because, to chaperone her and shit because she's the only girl in the group and blah, blah, blah. But I got married when I was 19. If one of my kids had come to me when they were 19 and said, hey, Dad,
You
I'm
will
getting ready
not.
to get married.
Yeah.
You will not.
Yeah, I'm shutting that down in my house.
insane. But I thought I was a man.
Making
I thought,
$5 a week.
Yeah, I was making $5 a week. We started Motown.
You see
and all
this
that,
$5?
You see this
Yeah.
$5?
You know what I'm
I can
saying?
take
You can't put an S on that.
Yeah,
I can take you places.
yeah, absolutely, man. But yeah, so it was something, man. It's a great life legacy, man. And to think that how we started and what was going on, like I said, it was 5 people there. And the day that Barry started Motown, he had it was Brian Holland, who was one of the Holland Doja Holland writing team. He was there. A lady named Janie Bradford, Barry's then wife, a lady named Ray Noma, and me and Barry. And Barry sat us down. He said, "Hey man," he said, "I'm starting my own record company. Ain't nobody paying. Starting my own record company, and we're gonna be the crew. And we're not just gonna make black music. We're gonna make music for the world. Watch and see. We're gonna make music for. We're gonna always have some great beats and some great stories, and that's gonna be our quality control to have that when we put our records out. But we're gonna make music for the world. So
And y'all did it.
you know,
Yeah. Y'all did it.
That was his thought. So
And with Shop Around being like you said, it was the first million seller for y'all.
mm-hmm.
Did you see real money on that?
Yeah. Well, we did. No, we didn't see the real money that we could have seen because Motown was new. So the distributors weren't paying.
Weren't paying y'all. That's
paying
why.
like,
That's
you
why I
know what
wanted
I'm
to know.
saying?
That's what I wanted to know.
So they were withholding.
Oh yeah, man. But you know what? What happened for us, which was so great, man. They were withholding at first, but when Shop Around came out, some of them were still withholding. But we came right back and we had Please Mr. Postman and blooped it and blah, 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 blah. We kept bombarding them with hit records.
But how
so
could
you
they
know what
legally do that?
Because they
Withhold them?
wanted to.
Because they okay, got it.
Legally, who gonna come and investigate it?
Right.
Got it.
Who's gonna come and say, if you go there and say, well, no, we know we sold 100,000 records, and the distributor say, no, you didn't, you sold 50. Who gonna know? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
Who's gonna know that that's what happened? So yeah, they you know, but like I said, the great thing for us, man, was we
Kept making hits.
bombarded them.
Kept coming.
We kept coming, so they would give us our money before we even sent them records. You know what I'm saying? Because they wanted those records. You know, it got to the point where it's like the radio stations. A lot of the companies were paying to have their records played. You know what I mean? The guys would call us and say, "Hey, man, please let us have the new Supreme record before you get." I'm talking about white stations.
Yeah.
Let us have the new Supreme record before you give it to anybody else. We'll play it and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
You know, we kicked their ass, man.
Were y'all making money on the road?
Oh yeah, we were
So
making money,
it was
but
good money?
not much. Remember,
I mean,
when-
in comparison.
yeah,
obviously.
when you first start out, you want. Let me tell you that when we first start out, we weren't making any money. Okay, the first professional gig, really professional gig, the Miracles and I ever did, was at the Apollo Theater in New York on the Ray Charles show. Okay. Now, I just played the Apollo just recently too. I will play the Apollo as long as it's standing, because it's black music tradition.
Yeah.
You know, I just closed it down. In fact, they closed it down, and it's going to be closed now for 3 or 4 years while they renovate it.
Really.
You know, but if they tear everything else on 125th Street down, I hope they leave the Apollo standing. The Apollo is black music tradition. When the Miracles and I first went in there, man, the very first time we were on the Ray Charles show, we go there and like I said, we just kids. I think I must have been about maybe 17 or something like that. Anyway, just graduated from high school, so we have a record called Bad Girl. And it's on Chess Records out of Chicago, so it's making a bunch of noise for us. It started us to getting some gigs and blah, blah, blah. We're on the Ray Charles show at the Apollo Theater. And we weren't making any money, but we were so terrible. Until Mr. Schiffman, the guy who owned the Apollo, called Barry and told me he wanted his money back.
He wanted his money back.
He wanted his money. Hey, man, we didn't even make enough money to get out of the fucking hotel at the end of the week. He was only, now, there's 5 of us, and he's only paying us like $700. And we're in New York from Detroit. He's only paying $700 a week. We got a hotel. The hotel is more than that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But he wanted that back.
Give me that back.
Yeah, we were terrible, man. I mean, I agree with him. If we hadn't been an act that had a record out where they considered you to be a professional, the dude who danced and pulled you off the stage with the hook,
the Sandman.
Sandman would have came and got us. You know what I'm saying? He would have came and got us.
So at this stage, there's no real artist development yet at Motown.
No, because there's no real Motown at this point. I mean, we're there, but we just started.
Yeah.
We just started, so there's no artist development. But see, after that show at the Apollo Theater, the Miracles and I went home and got our shit together on our own because it was embarrassing.
It's embarrassing. Yeah.
Right.
It was embarrassing.
I wish
man.
some of
It
these new artists would feel like that.
Yeah,
You know what? That was embarrassing. Let me go get.
Yeah.
Let me get
They
to
would
work.
just look at the tape and
Let
be
me get
honest
to
with
work.
themselves
Let me get
because
to work.
all they're considering is we got our money, and that's
Well,
it.
see, back in those days, they wouldn't even consider that because there was no money.
Yeah.
All they
Yeah.
considered is you went up there and, just we were totally amateur. But it taught us a lesson. So we came back and got ourselves together because that was embarrassing, man. And you talking about the money, there was no money. I look at the money that these kids are making nowadays, and it's amazing to me, man. Where are they getting all this money from? It's amazing to me that they could be handling that kind of money.
Yeah. Do you have those moments sometime though where you're like, shit, I came too soon. You know what I mean? Like, if I would have come out like the run that you went on,
She's made $1 billion.
is
Absolutely,
out of this world.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I have those moments now. I really do. And I know that, that back in the day, we were making top dollar for that day.
For that day, right?
But
that would be billions of dollars that you would be making now for the type of run you went on.
You know what I mean, man? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Who was your favorite artist to write for?
To write for? Well, you know what? I enjoyed writing for everybody, man. Because like I said, those people are my brothers and sisters, and people ask me questions about some of the songs that they heard by other artists that I had written. For example, My Girl. My Girl has become for me as a songwriter like an international anthem or something, man.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, we go places where we're getting ready to go overseas now in June. But we go places where they don't even speak English. 60% of the people in that audience don't even speak English, okay? And they hear boom, 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 boom,
And they
boom,
start screaming.
and they know the song.
Absolutely.
Right, word
Every
for
word.
They know the words, you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yep, yep.
So stuff like that has happened totally unexpected as far as I'm concerned. But it just as a songwriter, I can't beat that.
Yeah.
I cannot beat that kind of stuff happening, especially when it happens unexpectedly.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not expecting that.
Yeah.
In fact, I don't expect any awards or anything like that. Anything like that I've ever gotten, I wasn't expecting it because, it's just icing. Because like I said, I'm just blessed, man. I'm fortunate. I get a chance to live my life doing something that I absolutely love. I have a job that I look forward to going to. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, because we're getting ready to go out, next week, the end of next week. And we've been off now since December, so I'm ready.
Yeah.
Have you ever done anything else? Like as an occupation? Has it always, because you said you started at...
Ever?
16.
You mean ever? Have I ever?
Have you ever had another job?
I've had every job you can think of. Man.
Yeah, before 15?
Yeah, well, look, my mom passed when I was 10, like I said, okay? So my oldest sister came back to live in the house. And when she came to live in the house, she already had 6 kids. She ended up having 10 kids, man.
Oh,
so there was like 11 of us. So my brother-in-law, who I love, I can't tell you how I felt about him. He's gone now. But he was my man because my sister came, and I had another sister who was younger than her. And she didn't have no kids. And she could have said, okay, well, I'm gonna take my brother. But my older sister, who had all those kids, said, I'm taking my brother. And he could have said, no, you ain't. I got
Right.
all these kids,
Right.
but he treated me like I was his own son. You know what I mean? He never, ever made any difference between any of us, you know. So, but anyway, she ended up having 10 kids. So now there's 11 of them. There's no way from the time I was 10 years old, I was going to go to my brother-in-law and say, hey, man, you got 50 cents or you got $1, something like that. There was an old Jewish man, had a grocery store around the corner at the time. The neighborhood was just passing over. You know, black people were just taking over.
Yeah.
There's still a few Jewish people in the neighborhood. Named Mr. Hackerman. So I went around there. I was 10 years old. I said, Mr. Hackerman, could you give me a job? They called me Smokey Joe at the time. Everybody in the neighborhood called me Smokey Joe.
Why did they call you Smokey Joe?
They called me Smokey Joe because I had an uncle, my Uncle Claude. He was also my godfather. And when I was 3 or 4 years old, if you asked me what I wanted to be, I would tell you a cowboy because I loved cowboys, you know.
Yeah.
So my Uncle Claude used to take me to see cowboy movies, and I especially loved the ones who sang. Gene Autry, Roy Rogers, they had guitars and they sang. And then, so I loved them, man. So he had a cowboy name for me, Smokey Joe.
There's a cowboy.
If anybody asked
I
me
need
what
a-
my name was back in those days, my name is Smokey Joe.
We need cowboy names. Can you give us cowboy names?
So, and that's Smokey Robinson. Cowboy.
Yeah.
Before the day is over, I need a cowboy name, man.
Yeah, so Smokey Joe. And so everybody, including my teachers, until I was about 12 years old or so, called me Smokey Joe. Okay? And then when I got to be about 12 or so, they dropped the Joe off. I guess that was long and drawn out for them. And I just became Smokey. And people think that I became that after I got in show business. I named myself Smokey Robinson. But that's been my name all my life. You know, so.
What a name.
Yeah. So, yeah. And so anyway, he had this cowboy name for me, which was Smokey Joe. And that's what people called me. So I loved the cowboys that sang. So if you asked me what I wanted to be until I got to be about 8 or 9 years old, I would have told you I want to be a cowboy. I'm gonna be a cowboy because that's my goal. I'm gonna be a cowboy. I'm gonna be a cowboy that sings and have a horse. And that's what I want.
In Detroit.
Horse in Detroit.
In Detroit.
have a horse in Detroit. You know. But then when I got to be about, you know, like I said, after my mom passed when I was 10 and all that, I've always been heavily into sports, and I played football and basketball for my high school. And in the summertime, I played summer league baseball, which at that time was my favorite sport at the time, you know, and I loved baseball. And I'm not bragging, I could really play baseball pretty good. And I thought that I was going to be a baseball player. I thought, okay, I'm going to pursue this.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a baseball player. And I think about it now. And if I had been the greatest baseball player in the history of the game since they came up with baseball, the greatest person to ever pick up a bat or a glove or a ball, if I had been that person, my career would have been over 50 years ago. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
career, you know,
Yeah.
over 50 years ago, man.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I think about in sports, man, you get old fast.
Yeah.
Kareem, who is my brother, Kareem called me. He's getting ready to retire from the Lakers. And I had sang the national anthem at the World Series in Boston. And he saw me. So I said, after that, I'm never going to sing it again. I'm never going to sing the national anthem for a sports event again. I did it. That's what I wanted. So Kareem called me. He said, hey, man, he said, I'm getting ready to retire. He said, so I'm retiring this Saturday night. And they're doing a big thing for me at the game. And I want you to come down and sing the national anthem. I said, Kareem, man, I said it when he said, man, this is me. Come on down, sing the national anthem. So I said, okay. So I get down there, all in the forum and shit like that. There's signs up on the old man. The old man is retiring.
Then
The
they bring out
old
like a
man's
rocking chair or
yeah,
something. Yeah, I
the
remember seeing
old
it.
man is retiring. All this
Yeah.
shit. This brother was 33. Fuck. You know what I'm saying?
I wish a nigga would.
Yeah, you
Try
know
to
what I'm
retire
saying?
me.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
33.
His brother was 33. He was the old man. You know, so
But let me ask you a
Wow.
question.
yeah.
Wow.
If we're just looking, Kareem looks 62. I'm not.
Hey, you know Kareem know karate.
I know. I love Kareem.
Hey, you try to get your
No,
ass
no,
kicked,
I love-
man.
But back in those days, like guys that went to high school, they looked like grown men with
Yeah.
full families,
Yeah, yeah.
and the look was just different.
Yeah.
Until you said it, I had never put a number on it.
Mm-hmm.
No, when I was a kid, I thought Kareem was.
I thought Kareem
80
was
years
playing
old.
well
I thought-
into his
yeah,
40s,
yeah, yeah.
50s.
Yeah.
No.
Especially having all the scoring records, everything. You saying 33 is wild.
That's
His brother's
wild.
33.
It's wild. But that's reality.
Yeah.
Yep.
And like you said, even if you're the best of the best,
That's
as
it.
some, I mean, like LeBron is now 40, but
40.
people are acting like that is.
He's a phenomenon.
But even in that,
Yeah.
how many more hits did you have after 40?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
have
Still.
that's just the records you had.
Yeah.
And another thing about it is that, and like I told you guys this earlier in this interview, in this talk, we're going out at the end of next week, and I'm looking for. I can't wait.
Still
And I'm
doing it.
85.
Still doing it.
You're
Huh,
85.
85.
That's what I'm saying.
Huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, let me make it to 85 so I can talk my shit. I'm 85.
So
I can't
really,
wait to get to say that.
And I can't wait.
85. Listen, 85.
Yeah.
And I want to make sure we touch on this too, because we have to touch on this. Now you have a residency
Yeah.
Yes.
at the Venetian.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Can you get us a room?
I mean,
You
like,
got to hook up with a little player price for the room.
Like-
the Venetian,
like people- like-
pull
like-
up.
If y'all want to come, I will definitely.
Oh, we
hook that
pulling
up.
up.
Yeah.
because like when you get there, it's like what you set out for your music to be. That is the place where that statement is made.
Yeah,
Because
in Vegas.
that is all walks of life.
Okay,
They
baby,
get
I
to come in and
want to
celebrate
tell you
you.
something about that too. This is not my first residency in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
I've been having residencies in Vegas since 1980.
Yeah, here we go. You know what?
Pop it.
Yeah.
Now-
Tell
yeah,
us-
pop
tell
your
them, talk
collar.
to
No,
them.
no. I'm
Talk
gonna
to
tell
him.
you how that happened, man.
Yeah.
Because I never really wanted to play Las Vegas.
Hmm.
I never really wanted to play that because the first act that we ever had to play Las Vegas was the Supremes. And then we had the Temptations and they played it. And of course, I went to see both of them while they were playing there. And back in those days, your least amount of time that you could be booked in Las Vegas for something like that for a residency was a month, 4 weeks. You worked every night of the week with the exception of Monday, and you did 2 shows a night. Sometimes on Saturday, every other Saturday, you did 3 because there was a breakfast show. You did that. It was a slave house as far as I was concerned. Las Vegas was somewhere, shit, I don't want to play here. I am not going to play. And then they had to kind of change what they were singing, Top Hat and Cane kind of music and some of those kind of songs,
Yeah.
And I never wanted to do that. So my agent called me in 1980 and said, "Hey man, you want to play Vegas?" I said, "No, I do not. I told you I don't want to play Vegas." He said, "No, I got a different deal for you." He said, "Dean Martin is playing at the MGM, and he's got 2 shows a night, like everybody else. He's going to do the 8:30 show, but he don't want to do the 11 o'clock show. So you want to go and you can just do the 11 o'clock show. He's doing 1 show a night." I said, "Yeah." He said, "You can sing your own music and sing whatever." I said, "Okay, cool." So that was my first time going and doing a residency in Las Vegas. So, but I played everywhere in Vegas, man.
What hotel was that?
That was at the MGM.
MGM.
MGM, yeah.
Now, my main residency was at the Desert Inn. Steve Wynn bought it, and now it's the Wynn Hotel. Okay, but I was there. I had a residency there for 4 years, and so he bought the hotel, changed up everything. So now, for a while, Vegas was considered, and I would tell young acts about going to play Vegas,
Mm-hmm.
and they said, "No, man, I want to play there. It's the graveyard," because that's what it had become. Because Steve Wynn and some of the other powers that be in Las Vegas had started buying up. They bought up all the golf courses. I played golf. They bought up all the, and they were trying to make Vegas into a family town because they wanted the money
For the whole family.
from the average dude who lives in the neighborhood. And they were, high rollers came there. When I first started to play Vegas, man, in 1980, people came to the show in tuxedos and laid hand on gowns and shit like that. It was high rollers, and that's who was coming to those shows and stuff. And there was a named act at every hotel on the strip at that time. Liza Minnelli and this blah blah. There was a named act at every hotel. So it changed because they tried to make it a family town because they wanted that money from the guy who lived in the average neighborhood. They weren't satisfied with just getting money from the high road, who people had it, but they wanted him to be able to bring his kids there.
Yeah.
And while he gambled, they could have a theme park.
Circus.
Or some shit like that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they started doing that, and they killed Vegas. Vegas just went into the doldrums. You know, people stopped coming. They killed it, you know. But now it's back again.
Yeah.
Oh, it's back.
And, you know, all the young people are playing there. I can't wait to see New Edition because they told me that they're just racking it back out there, you know.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to see them. And I have a home in Vegas also, so I'm going to go see them when I go home to Vegas.
You have a
But
home also
but
in
everybody's
Vegas.
playing there again now,
Yeah.
and it's alive again now.
Yeah.
So I have the residency now at the Venetian, and I'm really happy about that too because as far as I'm concerned, the Venetian is the most beautiful room in Las Vegas. It's like a miniature Carnegie Hall or something like that. You know. You
What's the
think
name of their room there?
It's no, just the Venetian.
Oh, you talking about like the main suite?
The actual theater.
Oh,
Yeah.
the
Itself.
theater.
I thought it was the Venetian showroom.
Is it?
I think so.
Well, you performing there, so
Yeah,
we
you-
gonna
you
believe
know
it.
what I mean? Yeah.
Do you,
I've
do you
never
know,
heard it called anything else.
What's the date for
April 3rd,
April 3rd.
5th, and 6th.
April 3rd, 5th, and 6th? I'm putting that in my calendar.
Cool,
I'm
man.
coming.
Come on down. I'll set you
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, I
That'd be
need
cool.
to be there. I
Venetian
need to
Theater.
be there.
I love the residency play though because I just think that, I mean, yes, it has, and I think that the emergence of it being in this good space that it's in, I think Boyz II Men were very much for me
Instrumental in
very
yeah.
instrumental.
Yeah, Boys to
kicking
Men,
that
they're,
back
and they're doing great there.
And
they-
turning
you know,
that
they're
place-
great
That's
anyway.
more Motown.
Yeah.
That's more Motown.
You know what I'm saying?
They're doing great there, man, and that's true. But it's opened back up, and I'm really happy. I actually have a home in Vegas, and you know, and when I go there to perform and stuff, it's all, even if I'm not at the house in Vegas, just to be someplace where you're stationary
Yeah,
for that many days in a row is great.
yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And all I have to do is get up and go downstairs and do the show, and then go back up.
It's
to
great
the,
health-wise,
you know what I'm
right.
saying?
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely,
Not even
man.
playing.
Putting the miles and
Sure.
stuff in you. I gotta
Yeah.
say, brother, 85. You look amazing, brother.
Thank you very much.
What you doing? You juicing? Like what you got going
Yeah,
on?
yeah. What's the health
What's
regimen?
the what's the regimen, baby?
I tell people that I think the main thing that's happened for me, man, and it's once again one of those things that I didn't intend to happen, but it did. God has led me in so many different directions, man, that I didn't intend to go, because I've been doing yoga, like I said, for 50 years.
50?
Yes, yoga is one of the best things that anyone can do for their lives.
Really?
Yes. Why? Because as you get older, you start to shrink. And I mean, you shrink, and this is no bullshit. You actually shrink. I used to be 6 feet tall. Okay?
You used to be 6 feet tall.
Yes. When I was playing basketball and football and shit in high school and stuff like that, and then for a long time after the Miracles and I was going on, till I was probably about 40 or 50, then you just start to come down. I don't know why, but I say, now yoga, there's a fluid that flows from the base of your spine to the base of your brain. And in men, as you get older, it starts to slow down, which gives you arthritis or what, you know, cramps, blah, 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 and all stuff like that. Makes you stiffen and shrink, okay? When you see old guys and you see you just slumped all on
Yeah.
scoliosis and all that kind of stuff like that, those are things that you have to combat, okay? So yoga keeps your body and your muscles and your veins and all, keeps the blood flowing, keeps this fluid flowing. It keeps your body, keeps your muscles loose or limber-like, keeps you, and it's just so good for your health to keep that happening like that. But like I said, also now, I've always been active. So every other day, I lift my weights, and I'm back to doing something too that I hadn't done in a long time. I'm doing some chin-ups now because when I was younger, man, especially when I was playing sports, I could do 15, 20 chin-ups, man. And so one day I go down to the gym, and this is probably about 2 months ago, and I said, well, I guess I do my 5 chin-ups. I did one. well, that's one.
That's one.
That's one, you know. Yeah. But I do. I just try to keep myself active. And see, then now golf is my dope. And I think that it keeps me healthy. And see, one thing I can't do anymore that I think helped also as far as my health goes is that I used to run marathons. You know, I ran marathons, and I was running up until probably about maybe 8 years ago.
Still?
Yeah, because I loved running, man. Running just was so tranquil for me, and like that. And there's a buddy of mine. His name is Tom Dreesen. He's a comedian, and his sister contracted multiple sclerosis when she was 25, and it ate her up. But he started doing marathon runs for multiple sclerosis called 26 miles. His sister's name was Darlene, for Darlene. And what we would do was we would start, they always happened in Illinois because he was from Harvey, Illinois, around Chicago. And we would start, and we would run through townships, and the people in that particular township that we got to would join in, and they'd have paid, and they get T-shirts and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Blah. And that's how you earn the money and so on and so forth. So he said he was, he was doing the 26 miles to Darlene. Why don't I come on and go and join him? So I said, okay, I'm cool for that, man. So I go, and the first year I try it, that people have been telling me because I was a distance runner. And people ask me, you ever hit the wall? The wall? The wall? No, I ain't never hit the wall. I'd go out and I'd run 15 miles. I ain't no wall. So we're running. We got to the 19th mile, and this is very, very weird, man, because it looks like I would not have been able to lift my leg up. I couldn't put my leg down. I lift my leg up to take another step, and it was like, wait a minute. Put my leg down.
Will it go down?
It wouldn't go down. So I had to stop. So I didn't make it. So I told Tom, I said, man, I didn't make it. I said, I'll do it next year. Next year, I got to 20 miles. Okay, same fucking thing. The wall. I said, I didn't make it. So
So the wall is real.
the wall is real, baby. So I got the next year, he called me, he said, man, I'm not going to do the marathon this year. I'm just going to do a 10K. So I said, man, please do the marathon. I've got to make that. Please do that again. Just one more time.
That competitiveness.
So he said, okay. So this year, I made it. I was so fucking exhausted, man. I don't think I've ever been that tired in my life because the run ended. And a lot of sports figures would join in too, and they would run 2 or 3 miles, and then they
Get
stop
out of
and
there.
drop, get out.
Yeah.
Sign some autographs.
Yeah, they do that, But anyway, so it ended up in Harvey, Illinois. They made a platform stage in one of those mini mall parking lots, and there was about 4 steps up to the stage, and we were supposed to go up there and talk and stuff and tell people who were in the crowd. I couldn't even make it up the
Came up the
steps.
stairs.
I got to the first step. I sat down on the second step, and I'm sitting up there like this. I'm exhausted, and the paramedics came and got me, man. Took me to a Winnebago. They said, Mr. Robinson, you have no fluids at all. You are totally dehydrated.
Totally.
I wasn't thinking about drinking the water while I was running. You know what I'm saying? You are totally dehydrated. They had to give me an IV. All that. So that was the last time.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna do no marathon.
Anything like that.
Yeah, I'll do a little 5K.
But then I've had arthroscopic surgery on both my knees, so I can't run anymore like that. But running was a great thing, man. It's a great help.
Yeah.
And now walking.
Of course.
Just
Walking is wonderful.
Staying active.
Staying
Yeah.
active.
You know who else? One of your guys, man, is our guy, Jeffrey Osborne.
Jeffrey Osborne's my brother, man.
Loves
Absolutely.
to run. Loves to.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Jeffrey is very physical, man. Yeah, Jeffrey's my man. Jeffrey Osborne, man, when I first came, and we were talking about earlier when I first came back in the show, but Jeffrey Osborne was my drummer.
Wow.
Where'd you find Jeffrey Osborne?
Have
He
you already
found
been
me.
in
He found
LTD?
you.
He found me. He came. I had a band leader, a guy named Russ, and he auditioned guys to come, and Jeffrey came, and Jeffrey was my drummer. Henry was my bass player from LTD.
So LTD was your band.
But no, because I still have my guitarist Marvin, the guy who wrote all that music, and Russ at Four Pieces.
Wow.
Yeah. And Jeffrey was my drummer, man. But Jeffrey's my brother, man. Jeffrey has a golf tournament every year in Rhode Island. He's from Rhode Island, and we go there and play. But Jeffrey's my yeah.
Brother Smokey, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee, Grammy Living Legend Award. People got Grammys.
Yeah.
They don't have Grammy Living Legend Awards.
Are you the only person with 2 stars on the Walk of Fame?
As far as I know.
Miracles
And singular, yeah.
and solo.
Uh-huh.
Maybe you and Michael Jackson. Because the Jackson 5 should be...
Yeah, they should
So,
be there.
maybe
yeah,
Mike.
Yeah.
You and Mike.
Yeah.
Kennedy Center honoree, Library of Congress Gershwin Prize for Popular Song. What haven't you done?
That you want to do.
Yeah.
What did,
You know what I'd like to do, man? I'd like to have a really nice part in a really nice movie. I don't mean star in the movie or nothing like that, but I'd like to do that.
what do you see yourself as, a villain, or you want to save the day? Are you a lawyer?
I don't
What-
care if it's a nice part.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter to
50
me.
Cent.
If
You don't get
50.
the OG.
50, come get the young man.
Come on, man.
Let him be a yoga instructor.
Yeah.
50's my brother.
Yeah.
In
Slash
the show.
street guy.
Slash street guy.
Yeah, the yoga
You know
instructor.
he be doing yoga, but he killed James 2 weeks ago. So.
Oh, Freddie did. He killed him.
Yeah, he
You
killed him
never,
too.
so you never got in any of the Motown movies
No,
when you guys were making them?
No.
You really was against it. You were like, I'm cool.
No. I wasn't against it, but there was see, those movies were focusing on Diana.
Yeah.
So that was what happened with that. I don't think any other Motown people were in those movies. Just her and Billy D.
Yeah, when I think about that, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I never thought of it like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only other Motown artist that was in The Wiz, obviously, was her and Mike. It was her.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yep.
Y'all cooked, man. You guys. And it's the formula is, I mean, it's just as real as it gets. I mean, it starts with, it's the music and how the music is made. It's
Mhm.
it's curating it with the best of the best doing the best work together. It's the best musicians. It's the best conductors. It's the best songwriters. The best, it's all of these things that come together that I think it is so different now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the idea of
But
going.
I feel like it's coming back.
No,
Because
but
a lot
that's what I was
of
about
the
to say.
yeah,
The
a lot of
nuance
things,
of like, even with my kids, my daughters, and her listening to older sounding music. Wanting to see older sounding bands, because a lot of these new bands, like overseas and all over the place, like they're grabbing the Motown formula
Mm-hmm.
to make their music.
It's very nostalgic.
Very nostalgic.
Yeah.
And it's just stood the test of time in a way where it's just like, I mean, I don't think there'll ever be another Motown.
I don't either. Yeah, I doubt that seriously. The times and that we live in now would not allow that anyway. So I
Because
don't
so many people just want to be Barry. Like, you got to let Barry be Barry.
Yeah, exactly.
And then and you got to let Smokey be Smokey. I think people now, I felt like you guys' competition was healthy.
Yes.
Yeah.
The competition isn't as healthy anymore.
No.
People
because-
want each other's spots.
Yeah.
They don't want to work together.
Killing each other.
Yeah.
They're killing each other. Right,
In
instead
real
of
life.
working with each other.
In real
Like,
life.
people look at
Yeah,
Tank and
baby.
I and get surprised that we've been working together for so long. And I'm like, why? This is my guy. It's my brother.
Yes.
Like, I don't see no other way.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so much of a rarity now, especially like you said, you guys would come off a 51 city tour and then
Is it
go
51 cities?
51 and go right back to Hitsville and hang out.
Mm-hmm.
So that's amazing. But
mean,
before you go
I
there,
ain't going nowhere.
because listen, I am known for the foolishness, so I gotta ask.
Yes.
You know, Smokey, don't yoga me, don't punch me in the eye.
Don't yoga
But-
me.
But I gotta ask about gangbanging. It's such a viral thing in the hood that we all randomly just bust out, start singing.
All the time.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so, because when you listen to what it's saying, it's a message.
Mhm.
Very serious song.
It's a serious message. I was doing a spiritual album at the time, and I was writing spiritual songs for it. And gangbanging, it has a very important message, because, like I say in the song, gangbanging, hatred itself
Mm-hmm.
is the most ridiculous, uncalled for, absurd emotion that we have as men.
Hmm.
You know, it's such a shame, because of the fact that many times I've said this. I wish we could be attacked by Zectra, you know, some planet from outer space or something like that, and we would be attacked by them, and have a 4 or 5 day war, which we would win, but would give us a chance to see that we're all fucking earthlings. We're all the same. We have different color skin, we have different color eyes and different textures of hair, but we're human beings. And you don't get no bigger than that. You don't get no better than that. And you don't get no better than anybody else who is a human being. You know? So for men to be hating on each other because of the color of their skin, or because of some religious belief, or because of any reason, is absolutely absurd. You know? So gangbanging is that message. And like I said, you don't even know where it started. You have no idea where that shit started. All you know is you grew up and somebody told you to hate this person. Somebody told you to hate him because he lives on that side of the tracks. Or he lives in this block and you live in this. Or he got on red and you got on blue. Somebody told you to hate him. Why do you hate him? Well, because that's the tradition. That's what it came down like that. I'm supposed to hate him because it came down from your great grandfather.
Yeah.
Started some shit like that. And you haven't come to your senses enough to see that we're all human beings. We're all the same thing. If you skinned everybody alive, you wouldn't know who was. All of our veins are in the same place, our hearts, our kidneys. You know what I mean? But we're going to hate on somebody because outwardly they're different. Bullshit. And it's ridiculous. It's the most ridiculous emotion that we can have as people. However, it's being combated by love, which is the most powerful. Even those who are like the ones I just mentioned, those who are hating, they hate calling themselves loving something to hate for. I hate you because you're black. I'm white. I love my race. So that's a love thing happening. But I hate you. Or I hate so-and-so and so-and-so because, see, they hate for protecting. They call it that protective love. But it is a form of love. They're loving something that gives them the reason or
Purpose.
the excuse
The excuse. There.
for hating something else.
Yeah.
You know? So, but we need to get that together because, you know, and especially here in the United States, we need to get that together. Every powerful nation that there's ever been in the history of Earth has fallen from within. It ain't about war. It ain't about somebody coming over with taking this shit. It's about us killing ourselves from within. Like every other powerful nation in the history of mankind. You know, they've all fallen from within because somebody gets the notion that they're better than somebody else, or, you know.
Or they create the hate.
Yeah.
Wow.
You went there. Stop it.
What you got over there, Chief?
This is a little piano, man. This is how they started, man.
They go down to the piano with Barry.
They go down to the piano with Barry. I got a hit song, man.
Yeah, man. Yes, indeed.
Got a hit song, man.
Brother Smokey Robinson, Smokey Joe, King of the Smoke.
What smoke you talking about?
I can't speak to all the smoke you partake in, but I
It is
know
R&B music.
I know the musical smoke is real. The people are very interested in want to know the music that has inspired you, the music that has shaped the smoke that is Smokey Robinson. The people call this moment their
What they call it?
real smoky.
Come on, kick that vibrato.
Top 5.
Yeah.
Your top 5. Top 5. Your top 5.
What is it?
R&B singers.
Sing it, baby.
R&B songs.
Oh yeah. Oh, Smokey singing.
Throw
You've
down.
got to know
Oh.
before
down.
you go. Smokey Joe. Your top 5. Yes. Top 5.
Yeah.
Your top 5.
I want to thank you, pretty baby,
Yeah.
for giving that love to me.
Thank you, baby. Giving me that love.
Oh, yeah.
5. Brother Smokey Robinson,
This has
your
been
top 5
Oh, I appreciate
R&B
you, baby.
singers. Who are your top 5 R&B singers?
Well, I have to be retro on you, man.
Go, let's go.
Come on.
Let's go.
Oh.
Jackie Wilson,
Yeah.
Yep.
Sam Cooke,
Yes.
Ray Charles,
Huh.
Clyde McFadder, and Nolan Strong.
Oh, you going there?
Top 5.
Do you know who Nolan Strong was?
I do not know who Nolan.
Nolan Strong was a guy in Detroit, had a group called the Diablos. And they were the group in Detroit. They made records, you know. They had a song called Adios, My Desert Love, and The Wind, and all those songs like that. But he was a high tenor singer. So all those guys, those were my singing idols as a kid growing up, man. And like I said, Jackie was number one. Jackie, I think about Michael Jackson, and when I first saw him, he was like 10 years old. He was like a little man. But I called him Jackie Brown because he was a cross between Jackie Wilson and James Brown. And he was doing them. I mean, doing them. He was 10 years old. And I think about Michael. Michael was so extremely talented, you know. When you look at Michael changed the look of show business. He changed the entire look of show business because all the kids nowadays are dancing with the dancers on the stage and this and that. And all. Michael started that. Michael was on stage with 30 dancers who had been dancing since they were 5 years old. That was their profession. That's what they did professionally. And he was out dancing all of them. You know?
So before Mike, I ain't never thought about that.
never
Before
thought that
Michael,
either.
you were in the group. It was the dancers that were dancing with you were your group members.
Yeah, absolutely.
Michael Jackson come along
And hires.
and hires professional dancers.
And changed the look of show business. All the kids started doing the same thing. You know what I mean?
And then put, well, was he the first artist to put a uniform to an artist?
I would have to ask Smokey
What do you
that.
mean uniform? You
No,
mean
because
like
I feel like
Sergeant Pepper.
There's
uniform?
a Beat It jacket. There's a
Oh, yeah,
Thriller
yeah.
jacket.
like that
Sergeant
the
Pepper.
artist
Yeah.
was known for.
Yeah.
there's a
wearing.
glove.
Yeah, yeah.
There's socks.
Because were there's anything with you that you just always wore?
No, man.
You were known for the eyes for sure. They
And
just-
see, the killing part about it is I look at what we're wearing now as men, and it's just retro, you know, going back because it's exactly what we were wearing in the '60s. in the 70s. The
Suited and
short
booted.
pants. You know, people saw Michael with the short high water pants and the socks and the this and the narrow legs and the short jackets and all that.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what we were wearing then. You know who started that? Jackie Wilson. The short jackets and the short pants with the yeah. So Michael, you know, but yeah, so that we're right back to that same fashion as men right now with the short jackets and the narrow pants, short, you know, and all that. That's where we are now. It keeps revolving, or evolving.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, he was, you know, he was a very brilliant, thinking young man to be his age, you know, because not only did he look at the top R&B guys like Jackie Wilson and James Brown, so that he studied Fred Astaire.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean,
Absolutely.
the Nicholas brothers.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think about that all the time. You know, Michael did the moonwalk on Motown 25, and people say, "Oh, he made that up." No, he didn't. The Nicholas brothers did that in Stormy Weather, which was a movie with Lena Horne. You guys know who Lena Horne was?
Absolutely.
Okay, so Lena Horne made a movie back in the day in the 40s, you know, maybe before I was even born, called Stormy Weather. And the Nicholas brothers were in there, and they did the moonwalk in that movie. So, you know, he studied everybody, man. And
Yeah.
he was just...
Were you there the day they came and auditioned?
Yeah. Yeah.
At that point, you were A&R at the label, or
You know, I was vice president.
The whole time?
Yeah. So I was...
what do you say when y'all get back into the war room, in the creative room after the Jacksons have performed, and you see this kid perform for you guys? Like
What was that
what is the
conversation?
what's the conversation after you see that?
Well, the fact that we knew that we had something phenomenal. You know, for those boys to be their age, the age that they were, and especially Michael, and to be that talented, we knew that we were onto something really good. Because, you know, and Michael turned out to be, I guess, the most renowned artist
Ever.
ever,
Yeah.
you know.
Do you immediately start hearing songs as a songwriter? When you see them, you're like, oh, okay, I'm gonna write.
No, man, I not for them. You know, I wasn't even really thinking about recording anything on them. However, thanks to Michael Jackson or whoever decided they were going to do that, Michael took one of my songs and now it's his song. I wrote a song.
I know.
I was probably about 21 years old. Called "Who's Loving You."
Who's loving you?
Who's Loving You was on the other side of Shop Around, in fact.
Mm-hmm.
You know. And after Shop Around, they had worn it out on the radio and stuff like that. They started to play "Who's Loving You" by the Miracles of Me. And it was a slight hit, you know. So now, like I said, when I wrote that song, I had to be at least 20 or 21. I had some life experience. I was married. I had some life experience, you know, like that. Here comes a little dude, 11 years old. I know damn well he don't even know what that song is talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And sing it to the point where now it's his song. You know what I'm saying? If I do a smidgen of it in person, and young people there, they come to me and ask me, "Why are you singing Michael Jackson's song?"
Absolutely.
Because
right.
Wow.
that's whose song it is now, baby. Thank God. Because he made it a standard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And everybody that you hear singing it now sings it like Michael.
Yep.
You know? So thank God he recorded it. But like I said, this little dude, 11 years old, he don't even know what the fuck he's singing about. And sing it like that.
Killing it like
you know?
My whole life,
Yeah.
I thought you wrote it for the Jacksons.
See?
I'm like, I knew you
Yeah.
wrote it.
Yeah.
I thought you wrote it for them.
Well, apparently I did without even knowing it. Yeah, apparently I did without even knowing it. 'Cause-
Okay. Brother Smokey, your top 5 R&B songs.
You know something, man? I cannot possibly tell you what my top 5 R&B songs are, or any songs whatsoever, because like I said
You
earlier,
can do it.
I grew up in a home where I got a great dose of all kinds of music you can think of. I am a song lover.
Well, how about no?
I
make it
love
R&B.
songs,
Make it
okay?
all songs.
If I could tell you my top 5 songs, it would probably be songs that I had absolutely nothing to do with
Come on.
ever in life. I don't know, because I love songs. I'm a song lover. I've loved songs since I could hear. You know, I've been listening to songs and music. The first voice I ever remember hearing in my life was Sarah Vaughan. And I forgot what song she was singing, whatever it was, because my sisters were playing her. I had to be 2 or 3 years old. But that's the first voice I ever remember hearing. So I've been hearing songs all my life. I love songs. I can't tell you what my favorite songs are.
Can you tell?
I can tell you
us
my
5
favorite album.
that you love. Oh, okay. All right. Listen.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
My
we rolling
favorite
with you.
album of all time is What's Going On
Ooh.
by Marvin Gaye.
Mm.
I have a front row seat to that album. I was with him when he was writing it. I'd be at his house, he's writing it. And he said to me, Smoke, I ain't writing this album, man. God is writing this album. I'm just sitting here. I'm the catalyst. And God is writing this album. When I listen to what's going on, I believe him because it's prophecy. It's more poignant today than it was when he wrote it,
Yeah.
than it was when it came out. It was poignant then, but it's more poignant today than it was then. Everything that he's talking about is happening right now in abundance.
Mm.
Okay? It's my favorite album of all time. I haven't heard anything that I thought matched it as an album.
All the songs off that album.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Let's make a Voltron, a super R&B artist, right? We're going to take characteristics from any artist that has ever lived and
Okay.
build one super artist.
Okay.
So we want to know who you're going to get the vocal from, the performance style, the styling of the artist, the passion of the artist, and for you, special for you, who's going to write for this artist. The first,
We're talking about guys or girls?
it's your world. It can
Okay.
mix, match,
You can
it
mix,
can do
match,
whatever.
yeah.
Okay.
You need one vocal. Who
That's
vocal?
Luther Vandross.
Ooh.
Yeah. Okay, I got the vocal. No, what else do I need?
Performance style.
Performance
On
style, that would have
stage.
to be Michael Jackson.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
You well versed in. Okay.
Yeah. But between Michael Jackson and Jackie Wilson, it would be.
Okay. Okay. Michael Wilson. Okay.
Yeah.
Styling. The style, the drip, the clothing, the apparel.
Well, back in the day, the Miracles and I were real sharp.
Me,
man.
I mean, real sharp. I mean,
Real sharp.
You know what I'm saying? We were real sharp,
off
But we
camera, I tried
decided,
to buy
where
your
we
coat.
came from, we decided when we finally got some money and make some money, we were going to get ourselves some clothes because at first we didn't have no clothes. So we were real sharp. So we have to be up in there
so
somewhere.
styling.
Yeah.
The miracles.
The passion of the artist who mean it.
I think that probably every artist that I've ever known and ever close to has that, man. If you don't, you ain't going to make it.
Yeah.
If you don't have that, you are not going to make it. There are too many people with it who are not making it. You know what I mean? So if you don't have it, it's almost impossible for you to make it. I've told many a young artist that, you think you can sing? Let me take you to my church on Sunday. And you hear Sister Maybelle Clanton,
Yeah.
you ain't never heard of in your life, who was saying
Show
you
you
under
some-
the table.
You better believe it.
You know what I mean? So
Because she mean it.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So, but if you don't have that, man, you're not going to make it. And like I said, many artists have it, and they're not going to make it.
Well, give me one that has it. Just pick one.
That has what you're talking about
The
now?
passion.
The
Just pick
passion.
one. Yeah.
That you see and you just like, oh yeah, they got the passion.
You have to be a new artist?
No, hold on. From
Oh,
your
well,
world.
like I said, man, I'm not kidding. Everybody has that, and especially the people who you're aware of. They have that basically, man. Now, there are a few people who have always gotten by without it. There are people who've gotten by that had some songs that I didn't think was, but the world loved it. So there you go. So there are people who have gotten by without it, but most people have that passion. And especially nowadays, you look online and there's 1 million kids online, man, that have that passion, that's struggling, trying to get just their voices heard or something. That's why it's so difficult nowadays. First of all, there's no record business. That's out of the question. And there's so many, people downloading and taking people's music free and doing all the things that are happening now. It's a whole nother world. But the passion is there. I look at some of these kids online, I don't know why nobody's done anything. Yes, I do, because you can't. Because I've got 2 singers I've been working with for the last 5 years. I can't get them a break. They're the bomb. And one girl writes songs like Gershwin. You know what I'm saying? And I can't get her a break for nothing. Because there's so many people doing it. And there's so much passion out there. and so many talented people. See, it's a different world because talented people can display themselves now. They don't have to wait for a record company
Right.
or anybody. They can just put their own selves out there. So there's thousands of them.
Yeah. So the way you build, the artist, you just pick one, Smokey. I just need,
I built them all the way up to this point.
we need one passion.
just one passionate artist.
Just one.
It don't have to be your favorite passionate artist. Just one to build the artist. I just,
Let there be one.
just build them. Help me build them, Smokey. Come on, Smokey. Just one.
Oh my goodness.
You ain't gonna hurt nobody feelings, Smokey. I promise.
Marvin Gaye.
There it is. There it is. We got one passion. Oh, listen. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Marvin Gaye was one of the most passionate people I've ever known, I've ever worked with in my life. You know.
So
Marvin
let me
was
ask you a question. When you said you were with Marvin during this whole time of the What's Going On album, and God is writing this album, did you contribute any to that, or you were there just watching it happen?
I was there just watching it happen. I didn't contribute anything to it. Just my listening, giving him an ear, but I didn't contribute. I didn't make suggestions. I didn't do any of that because it was happening.
Yeah.
It was happening. And Marvin was one of the greatest singers I think that ever sang. I used to love working with him because Marvin was always late, man. He was my brother, but that dude was late for everything, man, all the time. It got to the point where if I had a session with Marvin and my session was going to start at 8 o'clock, I tell Marvin, man, the session starts at 6:30. So, and then he'd still be late. He wouldn't get there till 9, and he'd go, oh, Smoke, man, I so-and-so and such and such. But I knew that when he got there and I showed him my song,
It was going down.
boy,
Yeah.
I used to tell him all the time, he Marvinized my songs. You know what I'm saying?
Marvinize my
Because this brother would do shit vocally I hadn't even dared to dream of on my song. It was like he knew it before he got there. You know what I'm saying?
How old was he
Yeah,
when he got to Motown? Because he's from D.C.
He's from D.C. When he first came to Motown, let's see. Gosh. He was in his late 20s.
Oh, he was already in his late 20s when he got to Motown.
Yeah. Yeah, he came late.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, he came late. There was a dude named Harvey Fuqua. You guys know who Harvey Fuqua was? Harvey Fuqua, there was a group called the Moonglows. And back in the day, they were like the group in the hood, okay? There were a lot of groups, man, but the Moonglows, ooh. So Harvey Fuqua was the founder of that group. And I've been following his music since I was a kid, since I was 10 years old, And anyway, so eventually he came to work at Motown. And he still had his group, the Moonglows, and one of his members had left. So he wanted to hire another member, so they were in Washington, D.C., he said. And Marvin came and sang for him. So he hired Marvin. Marvin's a new Moonglow. So we're having a Christmas party one year. And he brought Marvin to the Christmas party. And so we're down in the Hitsville studio and stuff like that. That's where the main stuff took place. People all over the Hitsville building, but a lot of people gathered in the studio where all the instruments were and blah, 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 just mingling and having a good time. So Marvin goes over to the piano and he sits down and he starts playing the Christmas song and singing it. Chestnuts roasting on road. So he gathers a crowd. Everybody starts singing because his voice was just one of them crowd gathering voices. So everybody gathers around him. He sings it. And so Anna, who was Barry's sister, went up to the control room and told Barry, say, hey, you need to come down here, this guy, because Barry came down, heard him, and he sang, and that was when he first, Barry asked him if he wanted to come to Motown. He said he couldn't because he was with the Moonglow, but Harvey was standing there. Harvey said, man, you better come to Motown. He said, I even work for Motown now.
Yeah.
You better come to Motown. So he did. And when he first came, he didn't want to be Marvin Gaye. He wanted to be Nat King Cole. Or Frank Sinatra, somebody like that. That's that's how he wanted to sing. And so we recorded some song, Mr. Sandman, all this kind of stuff.
Oh, y'all were doing those type of records.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so finally, man, this dude, Mickey Stevenson, who was our first A&R director there, Mickey's still around. He's still my brother. He's the bomb guy. He wrote Dancing in the Streets. he and Marvin. But anyway, Mickey convinced him to be Marvin Gaye because he told me, he said, man, you ain't gonna make no hits like this. He said, you need to sing because you can sing. So
Yeah.
they wrote this song, Stubborn Kind of Fella.
Hmm.
And that was the beginning of Marvin Gaye, you know. But Marvin, like I said, he'd come to the studio, man, he'd just kill your song. Just do some shit that you hadn't even thought of. You know, he was a great singer.
Last quality for your Voltron. Who's writing for this artist that you just put together?
Kenny Edmonds and Diana Warren.
Yeah. Ha ha. The Face and Diane Warren.
Jesus Christ.
That album is gonna be amazing. Yes.
Golly.
Yeah.
I wasn't ready for that one.
See that?
How was it hanging out with Rick James?
A party.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got in more trouble with that, motherfucker.
Sheesh.
But Rick was my brother, though. Rick was the bomb to hang out with, man. And especially back in those days, because I was getting high, you know. So Rick was, but he was a great dude, man. Rick was.
So y'all was standing on the
and
top.
extremely talented, man.
How underrated is he as a vocalist?
Oh.
To me, I think he's one of the greatest
Well,
vocalists.
I don't know how they rate him, man, but he was just a
They
great
don't
talent.
talk about him as
no,
a
no,
vocalist.
no. They don't.
They
But
talk
Rick,
about him as a rock star.
Yeah, but Rick was a great talent, man.
Yeah.
He was a great talent. Musically, he was just,
Yeah.
yeah, man. But he was a great dude to hang out with, too. We had a lot of fun, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun.
Where did Ebony Eyes come from?
I have no idea. I had retired at that time. That was during my retirement. And Rick called me. Smoke, come down to the studio, man. I wrote this song. I want you to sing with me. I said, no, Rick, I'm retired, man. I'm not coming to the studio. Man, come on down here now. You come down there and sing with me, man. Come on down. So I went and I did it. And we had a great time. And then we did a mini movie video because we shot it for 3 days all over Los Angeles. He had a film crew. We went all over shooting it. We were high every day. You know?
I was waiting for that part. I'm like,
You know what I'm saying?
when he gonna say they was high?
Yeah, baby. But
It got a hit record.
absolutely.
It had a hit
Yeah.
record.
Rick was a musical genius, man. Rick was incredible.
I love the fact that I feel like in the record, he's paying homage to you with the way he's singing it.
Oh, you think so?
I do. I feel
Yeah.
like his vibrato and different things that he's doing, the inflections that he's doing on that song,
Yeah.
feels like, oh, I gotta get my Smokey Robinson up.
You know something, man? It's amazing that you said that because I always felt bad about my vocal on that song
Why?
because I wasn't singing at the time. I wasn't in show business.
Yeah, yeah,
You know, and
yeah,
he
yeah.
called me and I felt like I couldn't do a good vocal job. That's why I felt like I didn't do a good vocal job because I wasn't used to it anymore. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah.
One of my favorite songs.
Well, thank you. Because
I love that song.
I love the song too. Yeah, but Rick,
Rick
was,
James.
Rick was the bomb.
Yeah, one more segment for you, brother. I ain't saying no names.
Hey!
I ain't saying no names.
Uh.
I ain't saying no names.
Come on.
I ain't saying no names. Who you was, who you was with, what you did. Don't say shit. I ain't saying no names.
Hey, now.
So we had a very, very special part of the show
Special.
Oh boy.
where Smokey Robinson,
Smokey.
Smokey Joe himself,
The smoke.
the smoke, the Rick James smoke,
Rick James.
I'm telling you.
tells us a story,
Mm-hmm.
funny or fucked up,
Mm-hmm.
or funny and fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
The only rule to the game is you can't say no names.
When you say fucked up, do you mean fucked up high or just fucked up?
Wherever you would like to go.
It was high, man.
Wherever the smoke leads.
Wherever the smoke leads you.
Okay, I'll tell you something funny and fucked up. There's a friend of mine, a very, very, very close friend. He's passed on now, but he was my very, 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 very close friend. And we're in the car one day, and he's reading a comic book, okay? And he's reading a comic book about Daffy Duck,
Okay.
okay? And all of a sudden, there was about 5 of us in the car, and we didn't even, we never let him live this down, because all of a sudden, this brother comes out, he's reading his comic book, and he says, "Boy, man, whew, that Daffy Duck is a smart motherfucker." Like Daffy Duck had written that.
Oh, y'all was high. Y'all was fucked up.
So how about that?
Nigga.
Daffy Duck is a smart motherfucker.
How about that, man? Is that good enough for you? That Daffy Duck is a smart motherfucker.
There's so many layers
Oh, man.
to a nigga thinking.
That Daffy Duck wrote it, too,
This
though.
Daffy Duck
Is an actual person.
is an actual, is articulated
You know what I'm saying?
greatness.
Absolutely.
You hear what this nigga Daffy just said, nigga? I'm telling you, this nigga's on to something. What?
Oh, man.
Yes. So how about that?
Daffy's killing me right now.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, that's amazing.
That is high. That is when Daffy speaks to you.
You know what I'm saying?
Daffy has never spoke to me.
Daffy's never spoken. Daffy's a smart.
You know what I mean? So take that.
Oh, that's great. That's great. I couldn't ask for nothing better. That's great. Oh, man, I'm crying.
Yeah, see?
Just don't understand.
You asked for it.
You asked for it.
Oh my god. That is, it's so simple, but it's not. It's not.
Yeah, see?
Oh, I got it. That's one of the best ones. That's
Yes.
man, that nigga Daffy, boy.
You know what I'm saying?
You gotta listen when that nigga speak, nigga.
Absolutely. Profound.
Oh, man. I'm never getting high. I'm never getting high, man. I'm not.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I can't. I'm not gonna be able to shake that.
He gonna call me later. So Daffy a bad motherfucker, Jay.
Oh my god. First of all, that was incredible.
Okay. What else you want to know?
That is incredible.
It is something that I do want to know, and your take on it, because you mentioned it a little bit, as far as it not being a music business anymore,
Yeah.
right? Do you feel that we need gatekeepers again? That it's just too open. It's just like the
Free
fields
for
are
all.
just too
No
the
quality,
free for all,
no
the
quality
quality
control.
control. Like, do you feel like we need gatekeepers again in the music business?
I feel like we need them, but it'll never happen. And it's too vast. See, because it's available to everyone.
Right.
So there's no controlling that. There's no coming in and putting the control on it, and you know, like it used to be when you had record companies. You had record companies, and a lot of them weren't paying people, but they were still record companies where you had a place where you could go and know that some type of organization or something like that is going to release your music and have some kind of keep a watch on it and so on and so forth. We don't have that anymore, and we will never have it because of the computer. You know, I really think that the computer will probably be our demise eventually later on down in life.
In our society, completely.
Yeah, you know, because now they're coming out with AI and all that shit like that, where somebody can do your, not only do your image, do your voice, and nobody's gonna know the difference. That's very dangerous, man.
Yeah.
You know, AI is good for technical stuff and stuff like that. And it's good they made those kind of advances, but when it gets to the point where you're cloning people,
Right.
that's really deep, man.
Yeah.
You know, that's scary.
Do you feel like there is anything that gets us even close to the feeling and the space that we were in musically?
No,
No?
I don't think that'll ever happen again. Like I said, because it's too free for all now.
Wow.
It's too open. It's too available because it's online. People can make any kind of music they want, to say whatever they want to say. There's no census.
Right.
There's
Right.
you know, there's no nothing. So it's just out there. It's just whatever happens. You know, there's some people and like I say, I listen to young people. I think there's some young people making some great music.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but then the line is open so that the wheel that squeaks gets the oil. So all the negativity is what's put out front.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, that bugs me about people talking about the kids who rap. You know, they're gonna base all rap on some negative rap. You know, there are negative songs in every genre you can think of. Maybe not classical because there's no words and you can't hear what they were thinking. You know, but shit, when I was a kid, man, when I was a teenager, and I don't know how this could ever happen. I never figured out how you could do it. But they said, if you play this record backwards, you're gonna get a satanic message.
Right.
You know?
I used to hear that all the time, yeah.
Because you ever heard that?
Yeah.
And there were people making negative music back then. So people making negative music since they've been making music. So you can't blame that on today's generation and say that, you know, they're making it's just the fact that there's no census now. You know, I know that back in the day, man, we'd be on the bus and we're doing a Motown review or something like that. And we'd be going on the bus all over. And the guys, we were on the bus, we'd be laughing, talking about, man, you know, one of these days, somebody can make a record, give me some pussy. And we'd laugh. And
Right.
Give me some pussy is a nerd lyric nowadays. You know what I'm saying? That's
Everywhere.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's
That's a
not
nerd.
taboo.
Yeah, that's a
anywhere.
nerd lyric.
Any
You know what I'm
stretch of the
saying?
word.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just that there's no census. So people can say anything they want to say, and it's wide open.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not necessarily the powers or even the machine itself is not running on music. It's running on engagement.
yeah, it's running on whatever you want to do.
How do we get attention?
Whatever. Well, you know what, man? Just make some good music because it's gonna always be room for it.
Yeah.
You know, and I think in a way, some of that's kind of returning.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's kind of returning where people are listening, and they want something milder or something, you know, listenable to it. You know.
Yeah. It's just like
Well,
taste. Anything.
Yeah, I think people can only go for so long without feeling or wanting to feel.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Wanting to be loved, wanting to
Right.
be held, wanting to be appreciated.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And when they really want that, they have to go back and get it.
Yeah.
And that's the power of what you were able to do. Is
What do you think about the people who are knocking Beyonce for singing country music?
I think Beyonce should be able to sing whatever she wants to
Whatever
sing.
she
Whatever
feels
she wants.
like singing.
Yeah.
I don't even understand that. I don't even understand a country
Well-
artist protesting that because Beyonce is one of the biggest artists on earth.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And if she feels enough about your music that she wants to participate in it, why would you protest that?
But it's also the other part is like a lot of us don't know music history and
I
understand
know,
where that
man.
music comes
It's ridiculous.
Like
They don't
we,
want it to go back there.
like we
Yeah.
like we haven't
where it
been
comes from.
singing country music.
Yes.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
You know
And
what I mean?
we don't know it.
Right.
Yes.
Because you'll have our people saying, "Why is
Yeah.
she doing country music?"
Hey man,
always
I've
done-
talked to a few of them. You know what I mean? A few black people.
Yeah,
And I had to tell them off.
yeah,
You know?
yeah,
How dare you say that? Are you fucking kidding?
yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
What do you
Do
mean
remember
by that?
some of the original cowboys?
Yeah.
Those black men. Do you remember?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, I think that I think they're, in my opinion, I believe that they don't want that history to repeat itself where it comes back to where it originated from. It's like, no. We created it.
Too bad.
It's too bad. And we need artists of Beyonce's stature
Yeah,
to say, hey, I'm going to do it.
absolutely.
And also, if you study music history for the United States of America, all American music started in the cotton fields.
Who's in the cotton field?
All of it started out there with them people humming and praising the Lord and stuff. They didn't have nothing else to do. They couldn't entertain themselves any other kind of way. And eventually that turned into the blues.
Talk about it.
And eventually that turned into country. And that turned into R&B and
Rock
pop
and
and
roll.
whatever you know.
Yeah, everything.
But the source is the cotton field.
Yeah.
You know, that's where that came from. That's where American music originated, in the cotton field, with them out there humming and entertaining themselves, and you know,
Eventually
let
entertaining the
music
world.
evolve. Yeah, really, yes.
We appreciate you, brother. We thank you.
I appreciate y'all,
Man,
man.
this has
and
been
I appreciate
amazing.
you doing this, man.
Yeah,
This is a great time.
I told my wife, I said we got Smokey.
I told everybody. I told everybody. You know, I'm hanging out with Smokey today, right?
Yeah,
You probably didn't ask
Come
me,
on, Jay.
but I'm hanging out with Smokey today. I don't know what you're doing.
She
But
said,
I'm hanging out with Smokey.
She watched me get dressed. Oh, you got Smokey today. Yes, I
Well,
Yes.
I've
Oh,
been
you
looking
got
forward to
Smokey.
This
This
will
was
be
so loose. I love
nice
this,
shirt.
man.
Yeah,
do. Yeah,
man.
because we need you. We need this. We need it so they can hear it and see it and understand that what you were doing then was so important and so impactful that you are still doing it now at a level.
Yeah.
Like, my brother, you said 85.
Yeah.
You are they still say, hey, we need him in the Venetian Theater. People want to see him. That's the impact of just doing what you love and doing it at the highest level and just doing that.
The king of Motown.
The king.
Yeah. I mean,
Come on, man.
You
Come on.
king.
You the king. It's your day. You can say it. You can do that if you want to. You know?
I just got to ask one thing, too. On air, will you be our mentor?
If there's something I can mentor you in that's going to make something positive happen in your life, I most certainly will.
That's all
There
of
it
that.
is.
Because I feel like in our industry,
Mm-hmm.
guys and women of different generations, we don't ask enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not even asking of like, oh, I want to give me money. No. Knowledge,
Yes.
advice.
Yes.
You know something? I'm going to tell you something, man, and you're saying something that's so profound to me right now, because there was a time in my life until I got older and recognized the fact that it would never, ever be possible even, you know. But when I was like 18, 19, my dad was an older guy, you know. My dad was like 45 when I was born, you know, so my dad was an older guy. And, you know, I would hear him and his friends talking about stuff, and I would think that they were ignorant. I would think, okay, here I am, and they don't know as much as I do, because I'm out in the streets and I'm doing, that was so stupid.
Mm-hmm.
I would never, my dad's gone now, but if he had, I would never have known as much as he knew, because the greatest teacher that we have is time.
Yeah.
And if you're looking and if you're listening, you learn all the time.
Yeah.
You learn something new all the time. You know what I mean? So there's no way I could have ever caught him. You know, so that's what's happening now. You have to let people know that, you know, time has taught me a little more than it's taught you so far.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Because it's the greatest teacher we have.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna be calling you.
Yeah.
Call me.
Because I got questions. We
coming
got
over.
labels to run.
We
We
coming
got
over for dinner.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Call me. Come on over. And I love the fact. I love the fact that you guys are even doing this, man. This is beautiful.
Yeah.
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 It's us. It's what we run on.
There you go.
We run
Oh,
on
that make me
love
feel,
and
that
R&B
make me
music.
feel good
Call
to
me.
hear that.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
really, really hope you guys get a chance to come to Vegas.
Oh, Nick, what you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be there.
We're putting 100 on 17.
100 on 17.
If you do,
And listen, and we're gonna put some clothes on.
well,
Yeah.
You
Yeah, no. We
No,
gonna
no.
We gonna
No.
We gonna put some Vegas
We
clothes
putting
on.
yeah. Going to Dolce. Yeah.
That's what
Cut
you
that
know.
up. Slice that on me.
So if y'all gonna do it, let either Carrie or Savon know, and we'll set it up. When you get there, you'll be straight for everything.
Yes, you heard that.
Yeah,
Yes.
they heard that too.
R&B money field trip.
Yeah.
And thank y'all very much, man.
Man, come on
This
now.
is cool.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tank,
I'm J Valentine.
and this is the R&B Money Podcast, the authority on all things
Authority,
R&B.
capital A.
You can't tell us nothing. Nothing. Because Smokey Robinson was here.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, Smokey would say, yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby. I was here.
Yeah, baby.
Tank and Jay.